Well, not. Well, let's try this again, because I need you to be here, Jeff. Let's see. All right. Think I got to go back and start over. Did you get the second email I sent? Yeah, I sent a second email because it wouldn't let me in either. Hey, you all. Some of you I just saw a little while ago. I'm happy the rest of you are here. If it won't let Jeff in, then I have to end this and go back and try it again. Hey, there we go. Hey, are you here? Hey, Jeff.
Hey, we're here.
Hey, good.
Yeah. Okay.
We are
Now I just have to figure out
undefeated
how to
by
hook you up
software.
with my... Well, since I couldn't use my computer, I have to use my phone, so I'm going to have to hook you up over here.
Oh, that's fine.
There we are.
I'm gonna angle my phone down a little bit, and I'll look at the computer screen.
Fortunately, computer seconds behind.
I know, but I can watch the chat that way.
Okay, you can see my lathe.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well let's go with this and see how it works.
All righty.
So, hi.
Hey. All right, let me give this a little turn so you can see what I'm doing.
I see you got a spindle going. Okay.
Yes. This is that piece of 4x4 ish red oak.
Uh-huh.
My wood guy gets these. They come in on the trucks that the pallets of wood are on. And usually they're a couple of bucks, and I cut coasters out of them.
There you go. Sure.
Let me grab my microphone so you can hear me blabbering.
I can hear you pretty good, actually. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I hear you just fine. Then I don't mess with the mic.
I can put my mic on if I need to, but I don't think I do right now. So
Right. I'm going to grab this wedge. I noticed when I turned on the lathe that with this big piece, it was wanting to walk a little bit.
uh-huh.
So that is, yeah, something heavy. Because I don't like that.
Well, you have a couple sandbags or something to put at the feet?
I have a couple of somethings, but it's not heavy enough. All right, we should be good. Let me grab.
I see you have Whitland monkeys is on here, so Hi, Whitland
Yeah.
Lefties. I'm Jeff.
So I have to do everything right, and I get upstaged by the kid.
Ah.
Not my kid, but somebody's.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's always people lurking. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I think we're good.
I was just with my woodturning group today, our local group. We had our meeting today and went for about 3 hours. But we had a lot of demonstrations. We were doing a greenwood turning demonstration, and then there was a whole lot of show and tell. And we do
I
drawings
am
and everything. We do drawings for prizes and everything. It's a lot of fun. It's only $50
I
a
am
year.
looking for a group here locally, but the closest one is about 2 hours away.
Yeah, that can be true. I chucked up a piece of wood that where the tenon broke off before. I was going to return a new tenon actually, but I need to resert. I need to get this back in circular also at the same time. So if
All
it
right.
comes up, we can go through some of that.
Awesome.
But I did pick up a whole bunch of free wood today.
Nice.
Some black locust and some oak and some just some juniper and a few other pieces. Everybody brings extra wood and they just throw it in the truck, and everybody just goes over to the trucks and grabs what they want.
Right. No, that's handy.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I got elected as the new guy in charge of the newsletter. So.
Yes, you mentioned that.
Yeah.
I told you we
So
learned when we were Kiwanis members that if you don't show up to a meeting, you get elected.
You get elected. That's right. Yeah. Well,
Or
I showed up and they
appointed.
still got elected. So.
Yeah. Does that mean your luck is holding out or getting worse?
Well, it just you got more things to do when you're retired than when you're working.
That's true. Requires an appointment to see my mom. She's been retired for coming up on 18 years, and she never sat down.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's when it gets you. That's when they get you when you sit down. So.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I think this is a piece of pear wood.
Well, I think this is a piece of chalk block, actually, but it works.
Okay.
So this would be the largest piece I've ever had on this lathe. Where would you suggest I start?
Well, what are you going to do with it? What do you want to do? You want to round it out?
Would like to round it out first and then go from there. I would like to know how to do the tenon for a bowl, but I don't have a bowl blank handy.
Bowl blank.
Okay.
For rounding out what you're doing, I prefer. No, I use regular gouges. I don't know. Do you use you have gouges or you have carbides?
I have a set of 4 of these carbide. I have the square, the round, the diamond, and then I've got the that swan neck for doing bowls or
Right. For doing your undercuts and so forth
yes.
inside a bowl. Yeah, that's what that's for. Okay, so suppose you use the round one, like this one right here.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. What you can do, and I don't know if you can see this real clearly. I'll try and hold it up as best I can. You know what? Let me see if I can get a little closer there. Okay, does that help?
Hey, awesome.
Okay, so when you have any kind of piece of wood, just assist with square. Okay, for the moment.
Yes.
You want to come in from the bottom of it and come in, because what happens when you stand here and it's square, it's coming around, it's going bang, 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 right?
Yes.
Sort of like this is offset, so you can tell. Yeah, bang, 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 right?
Right.
If you come in from the bottom, you can undercut that, and actually, it's almost like getting under the skin if you think about it. You're coming in here.
So my rest is too hot.
And the bottom's a little bit off on this, but I'm just using this as an example. And what happens is, I gotta tighten this. What happens is you're cutting underneath the skin, so you're taking off chunks instead of getting hit like this. You're actually in solid wood the whole time going up.
Okay. So this is my.
And it usually takes 3 or 4 passes to get all the way down to the. I mean, because you don't want to take it all off at once.
No.
So it takes 3 or 4 passes to get down to the actual part that you want. Till you get it rounded.
And so I have on this corner here, I have about a 1/4 of an inch between the rest and the work. Is that too close?
That's perfectly fine because you don't want any more of that. 2 things for safety. One is the fingers never go beyond the tool rest.
Right.
Okay. The fingers are always staying on this side of the tool rest.
Right.
And the second thing is you don't want to have much more than the end of the tool outside of here. So I mean, anything that can grab and go down like this is going to be a problem.
Right.
Right. Now with your carbides, you can be a little bit above center. Instead of having this right on center, you can have this tool rest a little bit up.
Okay.
Like so. Because what you're wanting to do is, if you see the heel here of your tool.
Yes.
Right, this is the heel, right? So as it's turning, if you're turning it and you turn this until you get down to this, then you see it start to grab, right? And that you know you're at the right angle for turning. So like if I was doing it like this and I slowly bring it down, there it's cutting. Okay? If I go too far down, it's going to grab. Because I just want to be taken off a little bit. So you kind of get the general idea. That's how you want to approach it, especially when you're not used to the tool and not used to the wood. And you don't want to have your speed up real high.
Turned so far, except for one piece of pine, has all been round dowels.
Right. Right. So this is your first rounding.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a general, and it uses for bowls or anything else that you kind of want to do. Now you can put it on your bandsaw and kind of round out the corners a little bit so they're not so pronounced.
Right.
If you were using a bowl blank. Right.
Right.
But in this particular case, you've got a long strand, so you got to work the whole thing. So you kind of want to come at one end and just kind of run all the way up to the end, come back, do it again. 2 or 3 times, you should be pretty close to not perfectly round, but you're going to be getting to where it's a lot less banging going on.
I have a 6 or 7 inch tool rest here, and I've got 13 inches.
We'll do half of it at a time. We'll just go up, to about the last half inch or so of your tool rest and stop.
Right. All right. Let me grab my face shield.
Yeah. Yes. Do the face shield. In fact, I should grab mine too.
All right.
Now I look like I'm going into space. Here we are. Okay. Now try doing it from the end up instead of from the middle down.
Now we're walking.
Yeah.
I gotta fix that.
Try bringing it. Yeah, you don't want it walking on you. That's for sure.
No.
Is that wood pretty centered? I mean, it seems to be pretty centered. Okay.
Yes.
So it shouldn't walk on you too much. Yeah, I know you're kind of by yourself there in the chat, but that's okay. We weren't exactly expecting a bunch of people in the chat. We're trying to
Yeah.
just have a communication between the two of us. So this is like a Zoom meeting through YouTube. I guess we
All right.
could have set up a Zoom meeting too.
Hey, I forgot about Zoom actually.
Yeah, that might have been a way to do this.
All right, here we go
Well,
again.
I'll give you a like.
Thank you. I appreciate all the likes I can get. It is hard to grow a channel these days.
Yeah, it says there's 17 people in here.
Yeah. Come on, you all get off the stick. Hit that like button.
Yeah. Well, so when you're doing this though, you want to make sure you're coming from the bottom of the wood, not from the middle of the wood out. You want to start at the bottom of the wood. No, the bottom,
Okay.
right down here. Yes. And go
Okay.
towards the middle.
Toward the middle.
Because you want to get underneath that a little bit.
Ah. Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Just make sure you keep a nice, good angle on it, and you don't leave too much room between you and the rest. So.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Here goes.
Okay. Whoa. Oops, except it's hitting your rest.
Yeah. All right. We're done for now. I have to replace my rest.
Yeah. So take a little rest from your rest.
It's
okay.
That's all right. Swing by Woodcraft and get one. I need to figure out why this thing's walking
You
into
mean
it.
it broke the screw off? Holy crap!
Yeah.
How to do that?
It caught it.
Oh.
I mean, I have the thing clamped down tight, but.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's too bad. I got a whole bunch of these. I could, if you were here, I'd just hand you one.
I know. I was trying not to buy anything until, you know, the after Christmas sales are going on.
Right.
But
Now,
yeah.
let me ask you: is that a 1-inch or is that like a 7/8?
It looks smaller than 1 inch. Let me grab
it's okay. So make sure when
Yeah.
you're buying your tool rests, you know which one you need.
Yeah, I'll put a caliper on it here in a minute.
Now I'll show you what happened to mine. I got a whole set, and they were all 1 inch, which was fine, but they were too long. I had to take and cut off this much off of each one of each one of them, the posts.
Yikes.
So I've got a whole bunch of metal lugs. These are really heavy, but it worked. I mean, I did that, and guess what I did it with? I did it with a Sawzall.
Oh, with the metal cutting blade?
I put in a vise, and I used a Sawzall with a metal blade, and I did 5 of them, and it works great. So sometimes you get around things. Well, let's try something else anyway while you're doing this, okay? Since you don't have the tool rest right now.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to make this a total loss here. Since you got you on, I can show you a few things.
Please
I can answer your question. Okay, so I've got this piece of wood that's out of balance. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So as I turn it, you can see it. Wobble, 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 wobble. Right.
Right.
So I want to straighten it up. I'll use this face mask here. Okay, so if I want to straighten this up, I can come in from the side here and try and do this. I can also do the bottom. I can do it a lot of different ways. But assuming this was just a new piece of wood, I would come in from the bottom here, and I would shape it with a carbide like this, or I'll show you the gouge approach. I would take my gouge. Now I don't know if you can see it, but I've taken off about a little over 1/8 of an inch.
Yes, I can
Okay,
see
and
that.
it's not banging me, because now if I turn this, this is pretty smooth. This is still like
Right.
this. This is pretty smooth now. It's like, because I'm undercutting it, and because I'm undercutting it, I'm my bevel, this part here of the gouge, the bevel, is riding right on that, and what's hitting is this little part of the gouge is what's doing all the cutting. And as long as I keep this straight on here, I'm going to get a nice straight cut all the way through. Okay. So let me
Hey,
turn the
Tim,
speed up a
I
little
added
bit.
you as a moderator. So if you can take care of some business for us.
Okay. And that quickly, I just rounded my bowl out.
Right.
So,
So do
I
you
mean, it's not
think,
perfect. It's a little lumpy. It's not perfect, but I've taken away a lot of that chatter. Okay. Now with your other chisel, your carbide, I'm going to move this a little closer since I took 1/8 of an inch off. With your carbide, now I can just kind of go right along here like so, and work on straightening that out a little bit. And as I do that, here, I'm going to do this. Is that better? That light help?
yes.
Okay.
So do you
As I
think
do that,
that only using carbide tools for a beginner is limiting, or is it a good place to start?
no, it works just fine. I mean, it's a little bit hard to do that one stroke coming up the side like I did with the gouge for
Yes.
rounding. But other than that, no, you can do an awful lot. You can do, we were talking about this today in the meeting, you can probably do about 80% of what you need to do with carbide tools,
Okay.
which is a great start, right?
Right.
So now this is somewhat rounded. Now what I'm doing is I'm doing this, I'm looking up here in the top. Because looking down here is not going to tell me if I'm smooth and straight. Up
Right.
here I can see the profile, and I can see if there's little ridges and things like that. So I always keep my eye up here.
Right.
Okay. So and this is basically what they call a scraper in a sense. I know they call it a carbide, rounded carbide tip, but what it's
Yeah.
really doing is the job of a scraper. Right, I come across here like this, and the only downside really to it is it has a very small amount of metal that's hitting the wood. If you look here, it's just that very little part of that tip is what's hitting the wood. Okay.
Right.
If I used a bullnose scraper as an example, okay,
Right.
bullnose scraper will have a little bit more metal on the wood, and it's going to give me a more refined turning. That already took away a lot of the tool marks, just that little quick move,
Right.
because it's got a little bit more metal. Now, if you went to a skew, okay, if you go to a
Yes,
skew,
sir.
you can do very fine work. You can see there's dust that actually starts to come up, and it's only hitting the high points as you go. So that's even another level. It's actually shiny in places after doing that. So the difference between using a carbide, using a scraper, and using a skew. The one nice thing about a gouge is a
Right.
gouge can also do that same cut. Okay, if I hold the
Yes, sir.
gouge like this and I put the blade up against it, It's a very refined cut that's coming off of there. You get very fine pieces off of it, and that makes for a very fine. So you can do these same shaving cuts with the gouge. So just different ways of approaching the same thing. That's what I wanted to point out.
Oh no, that's cool.
Yeah, and I did that on a couple of lives recently. So this is already really smooth to the touch, and when I turn it now, it's almost perfectly round. It isn't here. Don't look at here, but if you look up here, you see that it's not moving my finger hardly at all, except for the piece that went in my mouth. Now I've got this bad spot.
Having a little high fiber in your diet there?
Yeah, a little high fiber in my diet. So you see this little high spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my rest over here, so I'm at that angle.
Yes.
And I'm going to try and take out some of that. Okay. Now again, I can use my gouge, and I can get in there, and I can change the profile of the bowl here. Very quickly. Now almost all that's gone. That fast. Because you're coming underneath it. You're not, don't attract it straight on, is my point. When you attack it straight on, you're just kind of beating yourself up. You're doing this. So it's hard to stay in place. See?
Yeah.
You come at it, if you turn this, the opening kind of like you want to go, the way you want to go,
right. Don't force it. Just ride the bevel and let it do its work.
Right. And turn the tool. Everyone wants to keep the tool like this with the opening on stop right on top. It's not that way. It's like this. Because you're cutting this way, you should turn the tool this way. And a push cut,
guilty of that myself, actually, with the carbide.
Yeah. Now you can even do that with the carbide. Yeah, you can do that with the carbide. You don't want to just always be straight on with the carbide. And I'm going to move this closer because I don't like being way out there. You can go straight on with the carbide. That's fine. Or you can do this at an angle. And when you do, you can be a little bit more aggressive. There. I'm riding the bevel of that bottom of that thing. It's not much of a bevel. It's only about 9 degrees, I'd say.
Right.
So it's not much of a bevel, but I'm riding that bevel, trying to stay on it. But you can do it. You can do it. It's not quite as nice as using the gouge, but it works. And that's pretty smooth. I'm not going to have to do much sanding to sand that. Okay. So now we can get to where we can make a tenon. That's what you were asking, right? Okay. Oh, you're good. Your camera just caught up to you. If when you're rounding the wood on the outside is what you're talking about?
No, this big piece of wood I have in my lathe.
Right.
Yeah, is that to round it?
I've been turning this. This has been at about 680 the whole time we've been doing this.
Okay, so lower speed.
Yeah, well, yeah, you don't need to be at 1,000 or 2,000 or something like that. That's what do we call that? Holy Jesus, kind of.
Oh, mock Jesus. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That may have been part of my vibration problem.
Yeah. You don't want to overstress and over time that can actually make your armature bend a little bit.
Yeah,
if
I don't want to
do that. Heavy piece on and it's having to lop around. You can actually put pressure on the armature and slowly bend it a little bit too. So you got to be careful of that. Or ruin the bearings inside. That's something to consider. So
it's another problem I don't want to have.
No, it's something because changing bearings is a pain in the butt. You can do it, but it's not something I want to do right away.
No.
So yeah, when you have a square your piece like you have, again, I like coming underneath the wood. After you get it rounded just a little bit, it's like doing a pen. Same thing
Yeah.
as doing a pen blank, right? The problem with
Right.
pen blanks is if you go straight in on the pen blanks, it keeps getting grabbing, right?
Yeah.
Is you can kind of come at a little bit, even if you just turn your tool at a little bit of an angle so it's not being so aggressive, the blade isn't so aggressively going into that, it will shave it off quicker for you like this than going straight in. Okay? So the big thing is, even with your carbide, just don't go straight in all the time. Try and
No.
angle your hand a little bit, angle the cutter.
Right.
Okay? Yeah. And that's really one of the things I spend a lot of time showing guys is look at the wood, look what it's telling you. For instance, I have end grain here. So I know this is going to be rougher than the side grain over here. So as I'm turning, I don't want to just grade how smooth is my cut here. I want to see how smooth is my cut on the end grain.
Right.
Because what happens with end grain is, and you should probably know this, but end grain can get folded over. It's like grass. You go through it with a lawnmower and you don't have a sharp blade. It just
Yep.
folds the grass over and looks like it's fine, and then later it sprouts back up again.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of what this is doing, right? You want to make sure you have really sharp blade when you're doing that. Tells you how sharp your tool is by looking at the end grain. So
Right. If it looks like it was chewed instead of cut, then your tool needs
right, and
sharpening.
you're going to have little pores. I mean, just some wood is just going to have little pores in it. There's nothing you can do about it. The best you can do is sand it as good as you can. Clean out that sanding because otherwise, what you're doing is just leaving dust in there, which makes it look muddy. When you put the
Right.
finish on, it makes it all look muddy on the edges. So, yeah, you do. It's the one thing I don't spend a lot of time on my lives. I don't do a lot of time sanding because I know
Right.
people get bored.
Right.
Okay. So
Yeah, they don't
now
like
I've
to
still got
sand
an
their
uneven
stuff. They
bottom.
don't want to watch us sand our stuff either.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not, yeah. So now I got an uneven bottom still. And this is what you were asking me about with how do I put a bottom on it, right?
Yeah.
So
The
let's assume
tenon.
that you've made your wood round at this point, or relatively round, and you've got
Yes.
sort of a shape, right? So the first thing I always want to do is I want to make sure that I'm flat on the bottom
Okay.
and I'm at a good spot. So if there's any kind of bad wood, I want to make sure I cut that off first. Like if there's a crack or something like that. Now there isn't any here that I can see, and I think I'm about the right height. So what I'm going to do is turn this on. I'm just going to give it a little shaving cut. And again, I'm coming in underneath the wood a little bit. I'm not just kind of putting it on the top here. I'm coming in down
Right.
here. I'll get a truer cut. Okay. Also got a little dimple there. But by doing that, I can put this flat board on here. I can see how flat am I. Oh, I'm a little bit dimpled. So I can straighten that out. But that's your tool for flattening.
Right.
It's right there. So why not use it, right? Now, for me personally, I like using my skew because it's flat, it's sharp, and it will definitely take care of anything like that. It will make it nice and flat. But if you don't have a skew, you can use your square one, your square carbide,
Yes, sir.
and that's basically the same idea. It's just that it doesn't have as much, position to it, but you can do the same
Right.
thing right here. Just be careful you don't push the corner in as you
Right.
go, right? Now,
Yeah,
if I do that
because
again
that'll
now,
just dig a hole.
right. So now I am pretty darn flat. I mean, I'm flat enough to make me happy. Okay.
Right.
So that's that. Now the next piece is how do you make the tenon? Now, myself, and we were having conversations at the meeting today about this. I prefer not having a tenon that hangs out because then you got to go back and cut it off.
Right.
And I like having a recessed tenon. You've seen me do that on a lot of my
Yeah.
videos, right? So
I
as long as there's enough wood here to do it, and it's strong wood, and especially when you're doing green wood, really important because green wood. Think of it this way: you got green wood, and you're going to put it, and you're making a tenon. and then you're going to grab it with your chuck and you're squeezing that green wood together, what's going to happen? It's going to tear,
Right.
fly off at some point, right? If I'm spreading it out, I'm spreading it against all of this wood. All this wood is working against my chuck.
The
So I think it's a much
the
stronger tenon.
tenon that pokes out, it I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory to me.
Right,
You
right.
you make it,
You
deep
make
enough.
it to the size of, yeah,
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 deep enough to where the jaws will grip it. Now, using
right,
the outer jaws and making more of a mortise is something that's where my questions come from.
right. Well, let me just talk about the other tenon for just a minute, the one that sticks out.
Okay.
Okay. You don't want to go all the way to the bottom here.
No.
You do want this to be on the wood. And you want
Yes.
to have enough of a tenon that it's holding on to it. Okay. But this is your flat spot. That's why you want to have it flat, because you want this to be flat up against it. But you don't want it bottoming out on the bottom of your chuck.
No.
Okay. So a
So,
1/2 inch tenon is more than enough.
half
You
inch,
know? Or well, whatever this is. This is probably about a 1/2 inch. So I'd say maybe 3/8 of an inch or no more than that.
3/8. Okay.
You know, whatever your teeth, however how tall they are. Some are really tall.
I have a
Anyway,
very similar chuck to that one, actually.
okay. So now this is roughly 2 inches on the outside.
Mhm.
Okay, and you can set these like this and do it that way, and put this in the center and kind of mark your pencil with it, and I just kind of do it by, at this point in my life, I kind of know about where it is.
Right.
So, and what I always tell people is, remember, it's not round when you tighten it all up. It's round when you loosen it up just a little bit,
Mhm.
because they cut this, it's one piece of metal. And so the kerf of the saw makes up for part of that.
Mhm.
So in order for you to have the most contact, you have to allow for the amount of the kerf of the saw to be opened up
Right.
on there. Okay. So anyway, you can use this is one of the times you can use your little pointy tool that you have on your carbides.
Oh,
And boy,
yes.
this sucker is sharp as all get out, But you
Yes.
can use that to mark it. Okay. So I would say this is one way to do it. You can mark it right about here. Now, if I use that as the marker, I can hold this up against it and I can say, it needs to be just a little bit wider than that. That's okay. I can now, it's easier to widen out than it is to not, right?
Right.
So I can take and I can turn this just a little bit, and that's going to be there, okay? And I think that's going to be pretty close to where I'm going to want it. Yep, yep. So now I'm going to go back in. My personal preference, you can use your square tool and do this. Kind of come along like this. I use a gouge usually, but you can use it like this. Now, I've got it pretty much round. I need to make sure I get a little bit of a dovetail into it, because mine happens to be a dovetail jaw.
Right.
So I'm going to do a little of that. That gives it just a little dovetail. I'm going to go back and clean this up just a little bit to make sure that's nice and flat. And that should be a pretty good tenon. Okay, it's about an
Yeah,
eighth
it's
of an inch,
awesome.
maybe just a little bit deeper than that.
Yes, sir.
If I put this on here, let's see. Oh yeah, fits in perfectly. I'm barely going to have to open this up, just barely, and it'll fit. and that will hold it while I do the turning. So that's the basics of it.
So
I try to use your carbides. Normally, like I said, I would use like the spindle gouge.
ah,
I can come in, I can cut across, and then I can arrow it out. But I mean, there's different tools you can use for it. But these tools are perfectly built for that. These two right here. Okay, so see, you
yeah,
can do it with carbides.
yes. Um,
I don't
the
normally do it with carbides, so I'm kind of impressed myself that I did this.
Well, those are the tools I have for now.
Yeah.
And I'll admit what sold me on buying the carbides was I got the set of three, believe it or not, from Timu.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
I bought, better blades
Uh huh.
for them. And so I kind of swapped out the blades and they worked fine for what I've been doing. I've not done any oak. I've done some poplar and some walnut,
Right. If
and
you
they
have
work
any
fine.
sway with Santa Claus, I don't know if you have any sway with Santa Claus. Okay.
I uh well, I think my wife does actually, because
Okay.
that's
Okay.
why the lathe showed up.
Okay. Well, this is a set of scrapers. One is three
Right.
quarters an inch and one is half inch. Okay.
Hmm.
They have slightly different profiles on them.
Right.
You can see this one's got a little bit more of an arc to it. And it actually can be sharpened all the way up the side. You can actually sharpen up to the sides of these things. So when you're in a bowl, it can actually be cutting this whole, can be a cutting edge, this whole thing. But anyway, the reason I bring them up is they have slightly different angles. This one's a little bit sharper of an angle than this one. So it's going to be a little more aggressive.
Right.
These two come for less than $40 for the two of them on
Really.
Amazon. On Amazon,
Yeah,
yes.
that's not bad at all.
No, as you can see, it's thick M2 steel. This is not just high speed steel. This is M2.
Yeah,
Okay.
the good stuff,
So
the
good
real good
stuff.
stuff.
I've been using these for about 2 years now at this point, and I mean they are really worth it. I can do almost an entire bowl just with these two scrapers. Almost entire. I can do the whole inside of a bowl. I can get that nice curve on the bottom of it. I can do almost everything. If I need a flat bottom, I can't do a flat bottom with it, but that's about it.
Would
But
you
I use
mind
these a lot.
emailing me the link to those, or what is the brand?
It's called Benjamin's Best. If you just went into Amazon, you type in Benjamin's Best Scrapers.
Ah, I'll write it here on the front of my.
Benjamin's Best Scrapers. I mean, and the nice thing is they got nice long handles. I mean, look at this handle.
Yes,
It is like a 14-inch handle or something. This whole thing is about 17, 18 inches long. It's not a
but
cheap piece of. It's not a cheap piece. It
no,
probably
no,
doesn't have a
well,
real long tang to it, but that's not a problem. Um,
right.
I also have one of their negative rate scrapers. It's good, but I'm not good at sharpening a negative rate scraper like I am the others. Um, with this, all you have to do is you have a, I don't know if you have a like a honing rod like you use for knives
Yes,
like this. Okay,
yeah,
all you have to do is scrape like this a couple times and go like this along the bevel, and you get a new bead. And about every 4 times, you probably have to take it over to the grinder and just grind a fresh edge and do it all over again.
right.
But I can do 2 or 3 bowls with this before I have to worry about that.
So it holds an edge.
It
That's
holds an
good.
edge. It holds an edge line, and for me, it worked really good. I mean, I've got a big one.
Right.
This is an inch and a half cryo. This is cryo steel. It's
Ooh,
heavy. It probably weighs in about a pound and a half,
right.
and that can really get in. But I can only use it on big things because it's too darn big to get into.
Yeah, I mean, it's a monster.
It is a monster. I use that, and I also have my roughing gouge, which is an inch and a half roughing gouge too.
Right.
I don't
Oh,
use either of them very often. I've learned to be more delicate with my tools. Um,
I don't
but
know what this is made out of, but
oh,
it
that's a nice one.
it wasn't super. This parting tool was not super sharp when I got it,
Uh huh.
and I just took the same. It's a carborundum stone, and just gave it 20 strokes on each side to bring the point sharper. And
Right.
it does everything I need it to do. I didn't want to take the grinder to it until I knew what I was doing.
Right. Thought I'd get back in the picture. You're not staring at the wall here. But yeah, it's a lot of these tools are not that expensive, and I've got some of these at yard sales.
Right.
This one is one of my favorites. It's got a different angle to it, and it really holds an edge. It's English. It's a Taylor breech, I think it's called. Anyway, but it's from England, and by golly, I use it. It's my go-to when I can't get anything out of the other two. So
right.
And I also have this piece of carbide steel that I made into a negative rake scraper. I didn't do anything to it. There's not even a handle. But sometimes I just need to get in there and get a little edge on something. That just takes it out for me. So, you don't have to be fancy.
It doesn't have to be fancy. My first table saw was one I mounted
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
on it. And
yeah. Well, this happens to be a Carter and Sons. They're very expensive. This is about $300-400 for a set of these, for like 3 of these. It's got a aircraft aluminum. This is aircraft aluminum for the handle.
Nice.
And it's really good. But like a lot of people said, Hurricane. Hurricane is perfectly good. I've been using this Hurricane gouge for a long time, and by golly, I'm going to buy another one when this one gets a little smaller. It's starting to get a little shorter.
So the name that I see around the chats and things is Robert Sorby. Is their stuff expensive, and is it any good?
Sorby's is expensive. It is good, but it is expensive. And I have some Robert Sorbys. In fact, let's see. This one here. This is a Robert Sorby fingernail. Yeah. This is a Robert Sorby right here. And they're good. This is high speed. This is not M2. This is high speed stuff.
Right.
I prefer the Cryo M2, something like that, because they do hold an edge longer and they do last longer. What I don't like is buying sets, because like if you get the Hurricane set, like off of Amazon, for instance, you get a set of 3, and you end up with one of them is this. Now, what in the heck are you going to use this for?
Let me see the tip of that. Oh, it's
you see my
some
thumb?
kind of yeah.
You see how small that is?
Thumbnail. I don't know. Would you use that for?
I suppose if I was getting into a little detail area, yes. But this is one of the 3 you get. Now I have that really nice big one I showed you earlier. There's one that's in between, which is useful sometimes, and then there's this one. And my comment to a lot of people is, instead of buying sets, buy individual ones that you think you need.
Right.
And that way you're more happy with them,
Yeah,
because,
absolutely.
The handles, now, I will say Hurricane makes nice handles. They feel good in my hand. May not feel good in somebody else. It's like buying a guitar. Guitars will sound a lot the same, but it's how does it feel in your hand?
Oh, yeah.
Because they have different curves to them, right?
Yeah, I hate a fender neck, actually, if you're asking.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's and I made my own guitar here in the shop too. I made a Telecaster.
I will probably do some cigar box guitars at some point.
Oh, that's cool.
If I was going to do a regular guitar, I would buy a kit and do it, because
there's nothing wrong with that. I got the neck already fretted,
right?
But I still had to go back and carve the neck.
Right, got to carve the neck.
I carved it to my hand,
right.
So I did that, but I did all the electronics and I did the body myself, and that's the hard part, is drilling those damn sideways holes.
Yes.
is a challenge, because you only have one shot.
I was reading a copy. I used to write for Backwoodsman magazine quite often.
Uh-huh.
And there was a project in one of the issues in which I also had an article, and this guy was making banjos out of cookie tins. And
Uh-huh.
something about that project, I hadn't done any woodworking in years,
Uh-huh.
but the pictures of him taking that spoke shave and working on that neck just lit a fire. And I had to build one. And it was probably from banjo standards, it was terrible, but
Ah,
it was the most fun project I had done in ages.
yeah. It took me. I learned a ton building my guitar. I really did.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I had a couple good books. One of them is a book from a guy who's been a luthier for a lot of famous guitar players and all. And so he kind of
Right.
has. There's a lot of stories involved you kind of have to find the information in between all the stories
Right.
as you're reading. But a lot of things I learned about intonation and making sure this everything was just right. And I'm really happy with the guitar. It really has a nice sound, but it's African mahogany. It's heavy.
Oh, I bet.
It's a heavy body, but
How's it tone?
the tone is beautiful. And I did put a belly scoop on the back inside, for the belly,
That's
because
good
the
for
telly
us
is
wide
not that
body
telly is usually
guitarists.
flat backed. So
Yes,
I
sir.
put a scoop in for myself. But I made sure that the hand scoop was a little bit deeper for my hands because I got big beefy hands.
Right.
Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to get down to the strings. And you can customize it, and that's kind of the fun part of it. But putting on those
Absolutely.
12 layers of stain and 12 layers of finish takes a hell of a lot of patience. I got to tell you.
No.
And every time a gnat comes into the room, you're worried about that gnat's going to land on your finish. You know,
And be preserved in your
yeah, yeah.
poly or whatever
It's going to
forever.
end up part of a Jurassic Park movie one day or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, So yeah, there was a lot of anxiety, but I had to build my own thing to hang it from the ceiling. I had to,
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you have to build all your own stuff along the way so that you can do all
Well,
this.
yeah, if you're going to the trouble of building the guitar, you want a fancy place for it to live.
Yes. So I made it all. It's now in my guitar area where I have my other 13 guitars to play with, and it gets its share along with everybody else. They all take their turn.
Well, right now the stable is empty. I sold my last guitar, oh, probably 3 years ago.
Uh,
I had been moving them around for years and never had time to sit and play.
uh,
And, like, it's some nicer stuff, and it's a shame, really.
yeah.
When you have nice guitars and they live in their cases and then they
Yep.
get, you know it's not
Well,
good.
I had in fact I just recently worked on I have a Zager. Have you ever heard of Zager guitars? Yeah. I have one signed by Denny,
Nice.
and I bought it. What was funny is I'd ordered a black lacquer one, and they had a problem with the lacquer they were getting. They actually sent me a letter saying the black lacquer is not up to our standards and we won't make it until we
Oh,
can. So they said if you don't want to wait, we'll send you this other one. So they sent me a mahogany one, and they took $400 off. So I was pretty happy with that. So I have my
yeah,
Zager
any
acoustic.
anytime the guitar manufacturer is going to eat that kind of money,
Hmm.
let them.
Yeah, that same guitar now sells for about 2 grand
Yeah.
on their website, and I got it when it was about 1,600. But I tell you, I put it up against a Taylor any day or my Ovation. I mean, I like Ovation, but it's not built for my body style.
No, they're not.
I feel like I'm playing it out here all the time. Why
I
they
have a
chose to make a
little
body style that was humped this way, I don't know. Because
I
unless you're
have,
Dolly Parton,
one of their, medium, body,
yeah,
the
they do have a
Ovation,
yeah, they do have
and
a
it
yeah,
wasn't the one with the really fancy top and all that stuff.
right,
It was plain and it had the rosette.
yeah,
Um, but I love the guitar. It was light, but It had a belly on the back of it. I had a
Yeah.
belly on the front of me, and it was hard to hold on to.
Yeah, it has a wonderful. That's why most guys are on live shows play ovations because they have a very crisp, clear sound.
Hmm.
Especially if you're finger picking. I mean, Cat Stevens used to play. I mean, almost everybody did. I think even Taylor Swift probably did. You know, but anyway, let's get back to your turning.
I'm sorry, that's not a good example, man.
That's I know. I don't watch Taylor Swift, so I don't really know. Okay, I like to watch people that actually have talent. But
No, it's just you and me and 21 of our friends. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. Well, if
Get
they
to
want to say
Taylor
something in
Swift.
the comments section, go ahead, guys. Uh, after all, only 11 of you have liked this thing so far.
Yeah,
Uh,
right. Well, that's probably my fault, not yours. I mean, I did kind of break my tool rest.
you did break the tool rest, but we can still come. So you see how I got the tenon here, right?
I did. I see that.
Okay. So if I was to turn this around, and I'm not going to take the faceplate off right now because I do want to kind of. This is a bowl I was fixing, but
Mm.
I'll show you a couple other little tricks. See this thing right here? I I did a little video on this. It's on my channel. You can see it. It's one of the 2-minute tips. These little rings, you can buy them. You can buy them in the store for like $11 each. They're silicone.
Ah,
Okay. What I did is I looked up rubber washers, and I bought a whole box of them on Amazon for about $7, and I've used 3 of them so far in a year.
is that in 1 inch inside diameter?
Yeah, it says it's right here. See these? It
Yeah.
says Um, oil resistant rubber, industrial flat rubber, and it is 1.5 inch outside diameter, 1 inch inside diameter. In other words, the ring inside is 1 inch. The whole thing is an inch and a half. And I
Right.
put those on there, and it keeps this from like the metal grinding together or sticking together.
Right.
It makes it easy to remove. Doesn't affect
I
anything.
may I may have some of those because I bought a bunch of stuff for we had some different, like, there are 3 different kinds of plumbing in the house,
Uh
and I needed gaskets for some of the elbows.
There you go.
So,
Or if you're a machinist, you'd have a lot of these laying around.
oh, I'm definitely not a machinist. I'm self-taught with that and everything else, but
So I just want to see how this fits now that I got this on here. Um, so assuming I took the faceplate off, okay, we're just going to assume that for a minute.
okay.
That's how I had to turn it, about a quarter turn, and it's tight.
That's good.
Now I'm going to turn the speed way down to nothing, and let me turn it on. And I'm going to turn it up the speed. It's a little bit off, so I probably have to do a little adjustment here of some sort, but I should be able to get a nice straight tenon out of this when I get it all situated. Might need to do might get a little sanding in there. Might be a little bit off. I don't know. Let's see. That's really off. I'm gonna have to go back and figure out what I did here. But that's why I don't necessarily take the faceplate off right away.
Right.
That's a little closer. So it looks like I need to go back and refine the inside of that just a little bit with my tools before I go on. But the idea is it's going to work.
Right.
It's going to fit. It's going to work. And
That's a little bit.
yeah, and I'll be able to fix this bowl hopefully because it tore right off. The bottom tore out,
Mm.
and it's a pretty piece of wood. I don't know if you can really tell, but it's got. I'll bring it a little closer here. It's got some really nice colors to it. It's pear, so it's got blue or purple, some reds, sometimes greens in here. I mean, it makes for a nice piece. So, do you ever do glue ups, or you ever try to glue up yet?
I have not. Um, I It's like on my list, but I'd like to kind of turn one bowl, what from a
Right.
blank first before I go trying to make my own.
Yeah, before you start making sketchy things. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Speaking of
want to
sketch,
I
well,
want to keep the sketch low because I've already broken the tool
well,
rest.
that's what we got Mike at Whacking Shack for anyway. Um,
Yes,
but I've got
man
this
is
here.
fearless.
Now, what I did is I made this is poplar, and I put a faceplate on it and screwed it on. And the screws don't go through the bottom; they're just about this thick. Okay.
Okay.
I put this on. I glue it on with a little hot glue, and I put hot glue around the edges
Okay.
so that it's really on there. And let it sit for like a few hours to really get settled in. A couple other things I do is I scratch the surfaces a little bit so it has a little bit of hold inside the wood.
Right. Now, this would not be a good place to use the CNC trick with blue painter tape on both sides and then PA glue in the middle.
You can,
Because,
except that remember you got to remove this.
well,
So
the
hot
the
glue, I can
idea
use
the
a glue
blue
gun and I
tape
can
is
remove it.
it peels off,
Yeah,
but
well,
I don't know if the centrifugal force would just sling it.
it possibly could, and I'm not saying that this can't do the same thing.
Right,
It can catch, especially something as sketchy as this. Because look at this, I got this weird looking piece that's flat over here and all that. But
right,
I started to turn this the other day, and what broke was not the connection to the wood. What broke was the faceplate's connection to the wood, to the plate, the wooden
right.
plate. And that's because I used a piece of pine instead of, and so it just tore out. The poplar is much stronger wood. It's more like
Hmm.
a hardwood, not a problem. So use
Right.
oak or something like that, and you shouldn't have too much of a problem. But
So this piece of 3/4 inch plywood that's the perfect size is a bad idea.
I would say probably well, plywood does have strength going in different directions. The problem is that it also has gaps sometimes.
Lots of gaps,
Yeah.
yes.
So unless it's birch plywood or something.
Oh, no, this is definitely not.
Yeah.
This is the stuff you resurrect from the bin
Yeah, I wouldn't use
behind Tebow.
OSB
Ah,
or anything like that. Yeah. I would
no, no,
avoid
no, no,
those.
no.
But poplar.
I'm asking the dumb questions
No, that's
before the
good.
dumb idea.
No. That's a good idea. It's a good question. I found poplar around here. I'm sure you can get poplar back there too.
Oh,
But
yes.
poplar is very easy to get around. You can go to Home Depot and you can get like a 3 foot piece for like $6 or something like that, and you can cut about 6 circles out of that sucker
Yes.
and have 6 faceplate setups. And
Hmm.
these little faceplate these well, not this one, but the smaller one on here. I get them on Amazon for about $4.88.
Right,
So I can make a lot of them. Okay, but another
right.
way that I do it is I also make my jam chucks out of poplar and so forth. Now, jam chuck is for when your bowl is done,
Right.
right? And you want to put this in the hole like this because you want to turn the other side again or something like that.
Ah,
Like one of the ways. I suppose this bowl had been done, and I had to go back and redo the tenon on here because it tore off before I finished. I could put a jam chuck in here with a piece of rubber cloth. Where does that go? I don't have it right now. But you know that stuff that you use on shelves and stuff to keep things from sliding. It's kind of
yes.
webbed and rubbery. Take a
Yes.
little piece of that and stick that in there, and you use this. It's about the same form and about the same size. Push it all the way in. This goes in the chuck. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I
this
have
part goes
lots
in the
of
chuck.
that laying around. Every cutting board that I sell
Hmm.
gets a non-slip mat and a
Okay, that's
sample
it.
of my
Yeah,
board butter.
yeah,
And that webbing, that non-slip mat is the cheapest way to go about that.
yeah. You can get a whole roll of that stuff for like $5 or something like that.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So anyway, so this goes in the chuck. The bowl's stuck up against this. You can put it. You can bring your tailstock up if you want, and you can return the outside of the bowl or whatever.
How how long should the screws be that go through the faceplate?
Well, now if it's just going into the wood because it's just a face plate and it's just holding, like this, I usually
Yes.
get them to be. I use stainless steel first of all. Use stainless steel. Don't use drywall or anything like that because they don't
No,
have
no,
any
no, no.
tensile strength, right? But I screw them in and I put them in about maybe an inch and a half is the total length.
Okay.
inch and a half, depending on the wood. If it's
So
really
an inch and
hard
a
wood, it
quarter would
doesn't
go
need
into
much
the
of a
wood.
hold. Yeah,
Right.
but if it's like cedar, I'm probably going
Right.
to put a good inch and a half or more in there just to get. And I might even have one that has like 6 screws or something
Maybe.
instead of 4.
Right.
You know, so yeah, it's all dependent on the wood. This is really hard wood. This pear is really hard. In fact, I noticed that this one raised up just a little bit. So I'm gonna, before I forget, and I used the world's cheapest drill. You've probably heard me talk about it, but this is a Harbor Freight drill,
Right.
and this is its only job. Its only job is for screwing and unscrewing these, and for some sanding.
Oh,
And it was 19
I've
bucks with.
had this
Well, that's
drill,
nice.
this Hitachi,
Uh huh.
since 2012. The
Well, there you
battery's
go.
still fully charged. It has not slowed down, lost any time, but I'm jinxing myself.
Of course, yeah, of course. Well,
But it
I
has
figured for
lasted
this was 20
very
bucks with
well.
2 batteries.
Yeah, right.
I mean, what the hell? If this thing doesn't work tomorrow, it's going to the trash can. I'm going to go down to Harbor Freight and buy a new one.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
you know
Same model.
yeah. I mean, so it doesn't pay, and I really love this
Yes.
because you can get into corners, you can get into angles, and it doesn't tire your hand. Standing there like this with a pistol grip for a long time really tires the hand out.
Hmm. It does.
This, because it's balanced, I can hold it with all my fingers. See, along here. I can
I'm
also
going to
lock it in place,
reverse
but I can hold
this.
it like this, and
I
it keeps
have
my
a
hands not.
whole row of Ryobi tools, that
Uh huh.
Ryobi 1 series like that. I love
Uh huh.
them.
Yeah. Well, this right angle is my go-to for all my sanding, simply because it doesn't tire my hand out. The only thing I'll
Right.
say bad about the Ryobi is their batteries are heavy.
Yes, they are.
I mean, my Makita drills are half the weight and half the
I
size. You know.
All my batteries are the high capacity, so yeah, it's a lot of weight to carry around.
It is, and I don't always use I use the small ones sometimes because it's just for sanding and stuff like that. So
Right?
but you don't have to put a lot of money into a lot of the tools. One of my
No,
really
you don't.
favorite tools is this. I got this at a yard sale for 50 cents. It's a vice grip, and it's got a button for adjusting.
Right.
You know, but I use it all the time for getting things off. If this gets stuck, I can use this to take it off of here. I just use it all over this place right here all the time. It's the only wrench I need. You know.
I have discovered, and like, it's not that I didn't already know, but
Uh,
I'm one who buys tools at yard sales, and then, when those I wear those out, then I'll buy something new if I can afford it, or if I find
right.
another one, I'll just grab. But the steel in the old stuff,
Uh,
particularly stuff before 1970, just it lasts and it lasts and it lasts.
it's another one of my jam chucks. So I just
I like it,
made a whole bunch of them. This is a glue up. It's like 3 pieces.
right?
You know, this is a bad glue. This is a bad job. It was made out of pine, and you see what happens. It tore out.
I have been contemplating trying a bowl with gluing two slices of 2x6 together, but I have heard varying opinions on turning pine, specifically construction grade stuff.
Yeah, I have a friend who actually turns bowls that are made out of plywood.
Ah,
It does segmenting though. He segments the plywood,
right,
and then he turns the bowl, and they look beautiful. But it's a lot of work, and he's got to make sure that every one of his segments doesn't have any gaps in it.
right.
So he's got to be really selective. You know, this is another one. It's missing the little faceplate on here, but this is
But
another one. So you just make a bunch of these different sizes, and you always have the right jam chuck. So those are just really handy to have. I was going to show you. This is what I built. I just dropped you. Oh my god! I
you
hope you're
dropped
okay.
me.
I hope you're okay. Um,
Good.
this is what I built for my tools.
Right.
And the reason I did that was because my wife works over there on the other side of the shop, and my
Right.
stuff was always flying at her.
Right.
So it inhibits me a little bit because when I'm trying to get into a bowl, I'm hitting it here, right? But other than that, it does a great job of keeping everything on this side. And then what I did is I took a $5 Harbor Freight tarp and I hung it behind me, and that catches all the chips that are flying behind me. So all the dirt is right here. You know,
I
those are,
have been contemplating getting a sprayer for finishes, and I have preemptively bought 4 Harbor Freight tarps so I can hang myself a paint booth.
there you
But
go.
I haven't. I don't plan to put it up unless I'm actually using it.
Uh,
I'm in a 1-car garage that I
right.
share with 2 big freezers, and I need every inch of space that I have.
Gotcha. This is actually a freestanding building. It's built like a garage,
Right.
okay, but there's no access to this as a garage because there's a brick wall over here.
Right.
So you'd have to drive
I
your
like
car
it.
through a brick wall to get here. But as far as the property taxes and all that, it's considered a garage.
Right.
So it's not a part of the house. It's not, and as long as I don't put a toilet out here or running water,
Yeah. Right.
I'm fine.
No drains.
I've got a mini split for my heat and air conditioning. I got my
Mhm.
cable TV. I got my refrigerator. I just don't have a commode, but there's a coffee
No.
can. You know,
Well, I mean, you could do a composting toilet, but do you really wanna do that?
not really. No, 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 no. I don't need to go. That's a little too backwoods, I think, for my taste at this point.
Oh,
But the point is, you know, you have, you know, that's one of the reasons we bought the house was actually
right.
because of this. So I didn't want to give up my garage, and the garage is like a 2.5 car garage,
Right.
so it's
We
huge. The former
we
owner
bought
had a
this
tanning
place
room in it.
because it had a space for everybody
Hmm.
and enough room for potentially a market garden. So, we're kinda we're getting at that age where we're looking down the road to retirement because it's not
Right,
that far off.
right,
And, gardening is fun, and unless it's super structured, it's not really work because we love doing it.
right,
But
right. Well, I retired in 22. My wife and I
right,
both retired on December 31st, and
Merry Christmas.
yeah, that was. She actually got to retire one day before me, which was because
Or
she was in a union and they gave her extra time off.
a
So
very happy New Year.
yeah, it was a very happy New Year. So we started off retired, but you know, retirement has its downfalls. You have to stay busy.
Yeah,
If
absolutely.
you don't, you will regret it a lot. So
Oh, yeah, I'm thankful that when my mom retired, year after my dad passed away, uh, she never sat down. I have to have an appointment to see her because she's busy, busy, busy. But
yeah,
she's
yeah,
involved in a lot of things. She's on the board at her church. She used to be on the nursing board. She,
yeah,
she's not a sit down and watch TV person. But I think when you sit down and decide that the TV is your best friend, then you get old fast.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the company that I retired from, they kept me on as a consultant,
Right?
and they send me $1,000 a month whether I answer whether they do anything or not.
I like it.
Yeah, and it's tax free. Don't tell anybody.
Right?
But they can, you know, I take phone calls and I get questioned and I still work,
Right?
do things for them, or I go out and do a seminar, because I was the seminar that's one of the things I did for them is write programs and seminars. So
Cool.
uh, you know, it keeps me a little bit in the game, you know.
Well, right.
And I
Because
still
you
go down to
never
the
know
Christmas
when
party.
when you're gonna need the things that you knew and were good at.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I did legal labor law
Ah,
for a number of years. So I was involved in writing handbooks and fighting the unemployment office and going to labor commissions in California.
Hey, one moment. Hey, Frank, how you doing, buddy? Tim, I'm sorry I've been ignoring the chat,
Yeah,
but
me too. I'm sorry.
I just I needed to have some tutoring, and then for those of you who missed the action, I broke my tool rest, and I've been sitting here on my thumbs watching instead of getting instructions. So we'll have to do this again.
But I got to say, you were really good about not spouting off any little word, any little 4-letter words
You
when that
have
happened.
no idea the restraint that it took. When my wife and I got together, I was fresh out of the army. I was had been a single dad for 4 years, and I had done every bad job you can imagine. And one day, I was fixing. I think I was changing putting a new gasket in the basket on one side of our kitchen sink. This place we lived was slowly falling apart one piece at a time. And I let out a cloud of profanity that rivaled Ralphie's dad in the Christmas story. And she said, when you do that, you might as well just say Smurf. And I looked up
Okay.
at her, and she was smiling, and I let loose another cloud, and it wasn't Smurf, but it was to the tune of Smurf, Smurf, Smurfity, Smurf, Smurf, Smurf. And over years, we've raised 3 daughters, one of which has a potty mouth, and so that's my mother's curse coming back to get me. But
Well, I always like to say my dad was a 20-year Navy man, so I come by it honestly.
yes,
You know, and
uh,
I'm pleased to report, if anybody cares, that Georgia is beating Alabama 28-7 right now,
that's news we like to hear.
and it's in the fourth quarter. So the chances of Alabama coming back from 3 touchdowns down is pretty slim.
No, that's slim.
Yeah, there's 8. I
My
think that's 8
sister-in-law is reference librarian. Well, she's a doctor of library science, and she is a library director for the University of Georgia. So, anytime that the Bulldogs would happen to lose, we
Mims.
hear about it. And there's always, that litany and list, kind of like we Ohio State fans when that team to the north accidentally pulls one off.
Well, I grew up in San Diego, so I hated when the Chargers moved to LA. I told them that the owner was a piece of what, Smurf.
Yeah.
And and I stopped being a Charger fan after 60 years. But that's another story. Hi, Mims. By the way, I see Mims is in here. Oh, Heidi was in here from Shoops.
Hey, Mike.
I'm not sure if I'm the person who quoted the name Mims, but I started calling him Mims a long time ago, and then everybody else started doing it too. So I'm not sure if I was the one who started it.
Well, but like in this community, we have a lot of mics. So, as long as you say Big Mike, you can pretty well say hello to 2 or 3 of them at a time.
That's true. Everybody's named Mike. That's true. My wife, by the way, wants to come into the shop. You want to get in here?
No.
Oh, she doesn't want to get into the shop. Okay.
Go Blue, Mike.
What's he saying?
Mike, buddy.
We find. But hands up.
Oh,
okay, fine.
hey.
Okay, I see. Go Blue. Yeah. What does he know? He's a Texan.
Yeah.
Unless you've been transplanted. Anyway. By the way, Mike from Whacking Shack said he was going live.
Mike's going live. Shoops are going live.
Yeah.
I should hope you guys got something better to watch than me. No. Wait, but smash that like button and subscribe.
Oh, but you're from born in Three Rivers, Michigan. Okay, that makes sense.
Uh,
By the way, for you that don't know who I'm Jeff from 2 Minute Tips for Woodturners. So if you want to check out my channel, it's there too.
oh yeah.
But
Hey, Mike, since you're all moderatory and everything, why don't you drop Jeff's link if you don't mind? Cause like I've been sucking up 80 minutes of your time. You should get something for that.
I appreciate it.
Oh, I
Yeah, I am going to
appreciate
have
it.
to get going because it's almost my dinner time. So
Uh-oh. Yeah,
I'm going to have to get going too.
I'll get this
But hey,
thing
let's do this
replaced
again when you
and we'll do it again.
get your tool rest fixed, and we'll be happy to do this again. Maybe we can do it on here, or we can do it on Zoom or something, whatever.
Yeah. However,
Yeah,
probably be better to do it just you and I face to face, but
probably.
it doesn't
Unless
matter.
the rest of you really want to watch us, a couple of old guys reminiscing.
And it really is that way. Mike's in our crowd too. And wait, he's perpetually young.
Yeah, Mike is not old. Mike is still working.
That's true.
Yeah, you're not old until you stop working, Mike, and I beat you to that.
Well, I'll never get old in that case.
What's
That's
funny is
my
I go to the
student,
wood turning group because I get to see a bunch of guys that are a lot older than me.
right?
It's amazing seeing somebody. I see some guys that are in walkers. They can barely stand up. They're stooped over, and yet they're turning finials that are like 10 inches long
Right,
and the size of a crochet needle. You know,
right.
just beautifully. I don't know how. They walk and their hands shake like this. When they get on the lathe, all of a sudden they're rock solid and they can do these perfect little turns. So it's amazing to me.
Yes, Tim. He and I were on 2 p.m. Eastern, and whenever YouTube is done processing that, then I'll make it public on my channel, and you can check
Yeah,
it
I want
out
to
if
see
you
the wood.
like.
I want to see the wood carving.
It's mine is a work in progress, but it's better. This was the first one I did on my
Oh,
own
nice.
live.
Uh-huh.
This was the second one I did on my own.
That's
And,
great.
and then we're still working on this, but this piece of 2x6 doesn't have any, like, it's got very little curvature. I put
Uh-huh.
it on the belt sander to round it over a little bit, but like a lot of those guys use like pieces of log or branches that are
Uh-huh.
already round, and it's easier to do the eye
I
socket
would think
and peaks
you
and
could
things.
always use a hand plane.
Yes, sir.
You know, I've got. I'm going to turn you around for a second. I've got
Sure.
a few.
More than a few.
Yeah, they're most of them are probably in the 80 years old or more.
Right.
I've reconditioned most of them. I still got a few, but one of my favorites is this little pocket apron. What they call an apron.
Yeah, an apron plane.
Right. For just shaving little things. It's got a
Hmm.
perfect little indentation on each side for your finger, and it
Hmm.
just glides over the wood, just bam, flat as can be. And I don't know how old this sucker is. It's heavy,
Yeah.
but you just don't find things like that anymore.
No, you don't.
So I hit a lot of estate sales. I tell people I'm buying stuff from my estate sale because I want people to be impressed when I die.
Right.
Then we walk around going, "Damn, he had a lot of tools."
My nephews come through my shop. What's this do? What's that do? What's this do?
Uh
What's that do? And then we get to the hand tools, and they're not interested.
huh. Yeah, it's too bad.
Yeah.
If you show, but you know what? You take a plane and you make a nice curl of wood out of it, and you let them do it a couple times,
Oh, it's
and they'll sit
very
there for a half an
satisfying.
hour making that piece of wood go away.
Oh yeah.
You know?
I built a bow, 2015. I built a riser, and I wanted a takedown bow, but I did a regular riser like you would get like on a compound bow.
Uh
But
huh.
then I made the the arms of the bow were like the Norse, the Holmgren design, where it bellies out and then it gets thicker at the ends, and that when it releases
Oh,
the
okay. I know what
energy,
you're
it's
saying.
very,
Okay.
very smooth.
Right.
And I did it mostly with hand tools. The only thing I did, I cut, like I used my little tiny skill bandsaw, this
Uh-huh.
4x4 to on the top where I needed to mount, and the bottom I needed flat, sharp angle, right there for that to meet. And so I used a bandsaw for that, but the rest of it was files and planes and spoke shave and
And sandpaper.
swearing and sanding.
Lots of sandpaper.
Lots.
This is something a BM Tool sent me. They sent me two of them. It's a tool rest base, and then it has four different links that you can put on here for your
Oh,
rest. So you
where
just
did
screw
you
them
get
on.
that?
You screw 'em, and it comes with two different. It comes with the 1 inch, and it comes with the size I think you have. It's the 5/8 or 7/8 or whatever it is.
Yeah, 7/8.
Yeah, so it comes with both posts. It was like $80, but they sent me two of them, so I donated one of them to our wood turning group. They're going to give away as a prize.
What was that
But
company?
it was called BM Tool Woodworks. BM Woodworks, yeah, Woodworking or wood turning, something like that. They have a site through Amazon. In
Okay,
fact, I did a video. One of the if you go there, you'll see me doing a couple of relief videos for some of their tools.
I will do
So,
that.
but they were pretty good. Oh, I'll show you one other trick. Okay, this tip's going out to anybody that managed to stay on with us all this time. This is
Right?
a $200 can of wax. They stopped making Johnson's paste wax. And if you go on eBay, you'll see it for sale for about $230.
Well, unless they start carpeting, barracks are going to put the whole army out of business.
Yeah, well, you can get other Carnauba waxes,
Yeah,
but this original Johnson's paste wax, which people lived by for years, and you bought one can that lasted your whole lifetime. You did your car with it,
yeah,
you did your wood floors with it, and you never got to the bottom of the can. I got 2 cans of this, and when I die, it'll probably still have half of it left in it.
right.
You know, but I told my wife it's an investment. I mean, you go to the yard sale and you find it for like 50 cents a can. So
That's going to be
I'm always that's the first thing I look for whenever I go to a yard sale or an estate sale now. Is I
that's
look for
going to
that
be the
can.
retirement business right there, buying up all the surplus Johnsons and then eBaying it.
I'll tell you what, it's better than gold, man. I'm telling you, if you could put $1 into something and get 200%
Yeah,
return,
no kidding.
that's a darn good investment.
I don't
I don't know how
generally
many
have
people are
that
willing to
luck,
pay $200 for the can though.
right?
Just because it's that price on eBay does not mean that's the price they're going to get for it.
No,
You know.
no, because
So
there's a asking price, a taken price, and a given price.
right, right.
And if they
Well,
won't
hey,
take
I
it,
don't
I'm
mean
going
to
to give
rush,
it to
but I
them. They
think I
can
got to
keep
get
it.
going so I can go eat dinner with my wife, and
Oh,
we
yeah,
have some more
I'm going to
things to
go
do
ahead and
today.
go too. We've been on here a while. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Hey,
And we'll
it's
have
been
to do
nice
this
meeting
again.
you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to meet you.
Hopefully,
Enjoy your
hopefully we'll
dinner.
see you again soon.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you got my number, so just text me anytime.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll
Will
talk to you
do.
soon.
Yes, sir. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
All right, bye now. Bye.